Purpose and leadership form an inseparable duo. This dynamic duo helps individuals and organizations to reach remarkable heights. Purpose acts as the compass, grounding actions in a deeper meaning, and of course, it helps to provide a sense of direction. It's the heartbeat of an individual or organization, and it helps us to move in a direction with greater significance. Leadership, in turn, is the orchestrator of this purpose driven symphony. A purposeful leader inspires and guides as he or she recognizes that true leadership isn't just about authority, but it is also about serving with a greater purpose. Additionally, it involves fostering a culture of collaboration and innovation. Together, purpose and leadership create a powerful narrative of aspiration and achievement in the realm of purposeful leadership as it helps every action to resonate with the core values and mission, resulting in a lasting, long legacy. I am Akeelia Thompson. Welcome to Soul into Purpose. Thank you so much for joining us for another episode of Soul into Purpose. We're coming to you live this and every Wednesday morning straight out of Jamaica. I'm your host, Akeelia Thompson, and as always, it is a blessing to be with you this and every Wednesday morning at 6 a.m. So please, let somebody know who will let somebody know that we are live. Also, comment in the comment section and interact with us. We want to know if you are here, what's happening, what are you having this morning. We invite you to take your coffee cups and your teacups to take a sip with us. Here on the Soul into Purpose podcast, this is where we take a deep dive into personal growth by providing you with practical insights, heartfelt stories, and actionable steps that you can take to get sold into purpose. So if you're just curious, perhaps you're now a part of the SIP community, or you just want to share this platform with someone, guess what? You're more than welcome to do so. Stay connected with us on YouTube at Akeelia Thompson, that is Akeelia Thompson, and follow us on Instagram and Facebook at Sold Into Purpose. You don't want to miss when we go live or if we drop any other information. All right. So please, as always, we have a wonderful guest who is here with us this morning, and he is here to take us on a journey of purpose and leadership, positioning for greatness, the one and only transformational leader and CEO, Mr. Jamar Wright. But you know that we don't give away the juicy stories just yet. So please, stick around. Invite someone, let somebody know who will let somebody know that we are live. I'm Akeelia Thompson. Welcome to Soul into Purpose. Wow, what are you sipping on this morning? And can you guess what I am having? I'll give you a moment. Let us know in the comment section. Guess what? This morning I am having the Tetley Peppermint Caffeine Free Tea. Really good. Go and get yours this morning. Let us know what you are having in the comment section. While we take a sip together, it is always important for us to acknowledge the one who gave us our skills and capabilities to get sold into purpose. By now, yes, I know that you've gotten it right. It is time for us to pray. Let us pray. Heavenly Father, as we gather in this moment of reflection and connection, we humbly seek your guidance and wisdom. Help us, Lord, and grant us the strength to be purposeful leaders who embrace the responsibility to inspire and uplift those who are around us. May our leadership be a beacon of hope, encouraging others to discover their own sense of purpose and to contribute to the greater good. In moments of challenge, instill in us resilience and unwavering determination. May our actions align with our purpose, and may our leadership be a force for positive transformation in every area. We express gratitude for the opportunities to lead with purpose and to serve with a heart filled with great qualities that will lead to good leadership. May our endeavors be guided by a sense of a higher calling, and may the fruits of our labor in leadership and purpose yield good achievements. These and other unmentioned mercies we ask of you, mighty God. We thank you, Lord. Amen and amen. Guess what? Up next, we have the purpose zone. Don't touch that dial. Hi there. You've just stepped into the purpose zone. If you are just joining us, I'm Akeelia Thompson. Welcome to the Soul into Purpose podcast. Today, in the Purpose Zone, we're looking at purpose and leadership, positioning for greatness. In the intricate dance between purpose and leadership, the concept of positioning for greatness takes on a profound significance. Purpose serves as the anchor grounding leaders in a deeper sense of meaning and direction. It's the essence that fuels passion, and it helps persons to move towards a more purposeful journey. Leadership, in turn, becomes the vehicle that propels individuals and organizations to move towards greatness by effectively channeling their energy and commitment that was derived from purpose. Purposeful leaders recognize the symbiotic relationship between purpose and leadership, and hence they use collective aspirations in order to propel their teams towards greatness. As such, these leaders are often guided by a deeper sense of purpose, and they help to foster environments that facilitate innovation, collaborativeness, and of course, inclusivity. The pursuit of greatness becomes a shared endeavor where each member contributes their unique strengths, and they also help to forge a collective path for extraordinary achievements. Considering this, empowering others with their purpose, it helps to amplify the collective force where persons come together through goal setting, continuous learning, and they also adapt certain characteristics that will help them to achieve greatness. Whenever we achieve greatness, it is also important for us to measure the impact that we have done in our environment because it helps to form a long lasting legacy. And this legacy is what will transcend throughout generations. Guess what? Leaders who are inspired by this legacy mindset, they will help the individuals around them as well as their organizations to not only achieve their immediate success, but also to put their efforts together to step into the realm of purposeful leadership. Welcome to another Soul Story. This is where we share heartfelt stories with our very special guests who help us to break down purpose in multiple dimensions. Guess what? We have a very special guest this morning, Mr. Jamar Wright. But let me tell you a little bit about him, all right? Mr. Wright is a leader and a visionary of Mind Food International Limited. Jamar provides the necessary direction for this dynamic organization. He is an expert marketer, a leadership extraordinaire, and he has a great passion for youth and transformational leadership. Jamar is the 2019 recipient of the Governor General's Award in Excellence in Leadership. Jamar was also appointed as a United Nations Ambassador NGO diplomat in October 2020. Jamar is also frequently called upon by leading regulatory bodies to share his wonderful practical insights on leadership, shifting culture, and of course, creating vision right here in Jamaica. Ladies and gentlemen around the world, please let's take a sip together and, of course, give a round and warm welcome round of applause to Mr. Jamar Wright. Happy Wednesday, everyone, and welcome to another Souled into Purpose podcast. This is the episode where we share wonderful soul stories with inspirational persons who have gone through life, and of course, they have stories that will propel you to move forward into purpose. In the last session, we spoke about purpose and wellness, and we stated that wellness speaks to the body, mind, and soul. Well, guess what? Today, we have some mind food for you because we have the international speaker, leader, and CEO for Mind Food International Limited, Mr. Jamar Wright. Mr. Wright, how are you today?
I'm fine, and how are you? And it's a pleasure to have me. Guess what? It's actually mind food and it's soul into purpose. So that's a very, very powerful combination right there. And any platform that I'm on, I'm always grateful. And I want to say a big thank you, not to your audience and also to you as well for starting this initiative. And I pray to God that whatever you are started, whatever you are sown, that you continue to water it, continue to fertilize it, and guess what? It will grow into something bigger than you have thought, bigger than you'd have expected. And so this is just the beginning. This is just the seed. But just continue to water it, and over a period of that, you will get your due reward in your due season.
Amen. Amen. I receive. Thank you so much for that. It is a wonderful pleasure as well to have you on the show. Before we reached out, I was actually wondering if I should reach you at the airport because I know that you and your wife, you are the living testimony of catching siblings. I was wondering if I could catch you at the airport, but I'm glad that I have you on today to share experience. Go ahead.
Yeah, we are very simple people, especially my wife. We are very simple people. Once somebody reach out to us, once we are available, we make time for that individual. Once we realize that individual is very, very serious, we will also make that the time for that individual. So we are not isolated from people, although sometimes we are busy, especially my wife. My wife travel every month. I think probably was September was the only month that she did not travel since the year start because she was sick. But Apart from that, we are very warm, we are very open people, and we open to people. And once you invite us to something, we will make the time and attend to it. So we are not isolated from people. We are very, very much in tune with people. And once you reach out to us, we are there. So we are very down to earth, easygoing. We live a very simple life, nevertheless, and so that's how we're going to touch and reach people.
Amen, amen. And he's telling the ones that he lives a very simple life, but I want to let you know that that simplicity is not without impact. And I'm sure he
Yeah.
will get into it as we go through this discussion. So, if
Mhm.
you're just joining us, you are on the Soul into Purpose podcast. I'm your host, Akeelia Thompson, and we're speaking today with our special guest, Mr. Jamar Wright.
Mhm.
So before we got into the stage where you are helping persons locally, regionally, and internationally, I want you to take us on a journey of Jamar from the stage of singing I am a promise, I am a possibility to get to.
Mhm.
But before you take us on that journey, I just want to tell you happy belated birthday because you recently celebrated
Thank you.
another milestone. So we just want to
Yeah,
explore.
I recently turned 36, November the 6th. That's what, almost a week ago? Yes, that's almost a week ago. So I turned 36. And so we give God all the praise and thanks and glory for that. Because many people don't say 36, but we want to give God the thanks for the simple things in life. Um, just for health, just for health. You're in your right peace of mind, and I want to encourage people that your health and peace of mind and joy, those are some of the greatest blessings that God will give you, because once you have health, you can go ahead and pursue your purpose. And in all of that, the house, the car, and the money, those stuff they are important, but they are not as important as the bigger things like your life and health and stuff like that. So those are the most important things that we forget, we overlook it. But we want to give God thanks for 36 years. So thank you, really, really appreciate that.
You're most welcome. All
Mhm.
right, so all of 36 years, I want to take me back a couple
Mhm.
to Bogwalk St. Catherine. Growing
Yeah. So you remember my story, because the first time I met you were at UTEC, the rural.
beside
You guys, yes, the rural society. You and Robin over there, and I spoke to him ever so often, and so I was born in a community called Bagwalk, Magazine Lane. Now, when I was born in Bagwalk Magazine Lane, I born into a big wooden house that was catch and four block. And let me use the word, because I know international people is going to listen to it. That house sit and four blocks. That was the foundation for our house. And my house was made out of a thing they call bagasse board. Today they call it compass board. Now, if you go to some of those stores and you're buying furniture, some of those boards are what they call compass board. Even the new type of vanity that you put inside of your bathroom, those are what they call bagasse board. And so my house was very deplorable, because when I was born, that house was built 30 years by my grandparents. And so my mom was living there, um, my cousin was living there, and so 11 of us was living in that big board house. That board house was divided up into three rooms, one for my mother, one for my grandparents, and the rest of that the other room was for my cousin and I. And so we had about two bed inside that. We have two bed inside of that. And so those time we have those iron mattress. It's not like the nice mattress that you guys have now. We have the iron mattress, and it has spring inside of it. And sometimes when that mattress was finished, was old, the spring used to come through the bed and it would cut you on your side. So that was how we grew up in. We had rat in our house. We have many rats. We had roaches. We have duck ants nest. We have a number of insect that was living in that house with us, including lizard as well. And so we were on food stamp. By that time, we did not have parcels yet, so we were on food stamp. And so we had outside bathroom, we had outside kitchen, and we have outside toilet. So every single thing was detached from the main structure. And so when we were cooking, we used to have the wood fire, because at that time we did not have a kerosene stove or a gas stove at that time. And so we cooked so much on the wood fire that my grandmother developed what they call cataract on her eye. And so our pots used to be black, very, 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 very black. And so when it would rain, my grandmother called that house a dry weather house. And because why the reason why she called that house a dry weather house, because when it rained, every single thing inside that house was soaked. And so we used to use every single dish that we have, every single pan that we have, every single pot that we had to catch the rainwater when it was raining. And so especially when it rained, there were so many mosquitoes inside that house. And so we grew up in poverty. And so most of the time I was on the road in deplorable clothing, because at that time we did not have enough money, because we were on food stamp at the time. And I remember when we used to collect the food stamp at the police station to actually change the money so that we could buy whatever we needed. And I think if I can recall memory serve me right, food stamp was probably every 3 months or part somewhere along that line. I don't quite remember. But when I was in grade 6, I was about to do GSAT. And so the principal, because I was coming to school so bad, so poorly, I used to attend school only 2 times per week. 2 times per week, yes. I used to attend school on Monday, and I used to attend school on Friday. And the reason for that, when I went home, I asked my mother, because the principal said that she wanted to speak to my mother, because at that time I was about to do GSAT. It was the year 2000, and I think I did the second GSAT. Yes, I did the second GSAT. It was the year 2000, and it was about February, or February or late January, going into GSAT. And so they said they need to speak to my mother. And so when I went home and I asked my mother, I said, "Mommy, the principal wanted to see you," because she was concerned about me coming to school 2 times per week. And my mother did not answer me. What my mom did, she dipped into her bag and she took out a payslip. No, this was the year 2000. This was the year 2000, when everybody was talking about the new millennium. And my mother, she was earning less than 2,000 Jamaican dollars per week, because my mother get paid weekly. She used to work at a place they call Toller Estate. And so what my mom did at Toller Estate, she would pour the fertilizer at the root of the cane, because Toller Estate, it is a big estate, but they grow mixed crop. So they would grow some orange, they would grow banana, they would grow cane, they would grow coconut, etc. Because it's a massive place. And so when that was finished, when the cane season was finished, my mother used to pick the banana. She used to harvest the banana, wash the banana, ensure that the banana is packed correctly so that it could be exported. And so my mom used to get less than 2,000 Jamaican dollars per week. And so when my mother get paid every Thursday. And so my mom was able to send us to school on Friday. She could cook on Saturday and barely cook on Sunday. And by Monday, my mother barely could send my brother and I to school at that time. And so between Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, we were on the road. And so hence they call us Rosie Lego Beast, Rosie Bad Boots. And then they say, you know what, we should pack you in a barrel and we should roll you away, because you serve no purpose on earth. Because we were basically roaming the street at that age, about 11, 10, 12 thereabout, because my mother could hardly send us to school. And so we were at the ball field majority of the time, just, wasting time and so you could understand what was going on. at that time. And so it was a very difficult period for me and for my brother and for my family.
Right. So life happens, and
Mhm.
unfortunately, can change some of the circumstances that we're born into. But for someone else, they would say, okay, I was in poverty, I was abused,
Mhm.
parents or other relatives. I can't find purpose because everything, the system,
Mhm.
and people love to run to the system is already set up to fail us. So we have that mindset and everything. So I can't
Mhm.
find purpose because of all of these challenges. What would you say to someone to see purpose in spite of the odds?
Um, it's very difficult for someone to see purpose in a very challenging environment, especially if they don't have the right role model, especially if they have not stepped outside of their own circumstance. And luckily for me, it was my grandmother who was saying to me all of my life that you can't, someone must leave Bagwag and become something, because all of our life they used to say we live in a chicken coop. We live in a chicken coop, and nobody from that house actually become anything. And so my grandmother, she used to emphasize that somebody needs to leave Bagua and become something. She said 11 of us can't living in this board house. 11 of us can't amount to anything in life, because everybody in that lane, because we live on what you call a lane, and everybody was saying every single person in that household, they were worthless, because 11 of them live in such a deplorable condition and no one could come out of it. And so it was my grandmother. Now, when you are in that circumstance, especially if you have never stepped outside of it, it's very difficult to see something else. It's very difficult for your mind to change, because it is the environment that condition a person to how he thinks, to how he sees himself. Because a seed without the right environment is still a seed. But if the seed is planted into the right environment, the seed actually become a tree. The same thing for water. If you change water, you change the state of water. Water at room temperature is water. Water in the refrigerator at 0 degree become ice, and water in a pot at 100 degrees Celsius it becomes steam. And so we did not change the water. What we did was to change the environment that the water in, and the state of the water changing. The same thing with us. If we are going to become like what I grew up in, someone will have to change your mind, and then you have to change your environment for you to become better.
Mm. Because I love that you mentioned that, and you're already dropping gems as we're starting out, changing our mind and
Mm-hmm.
environment. Because some people still have the thing. I come from St. Mary, and this is where born and raised, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm not changing. But the truth is, we can't always thrive in that environment. We can go back and help somebody to show them that
Yeah.
way, but we have to move from that environment. And I just want you, because we defined purpose in our previous episodes to be a journey that we
Mm-hmm.
continue on until we die. And we want to
Mm-hmm.
define leadership a little later on. But when it comes to the context of purpose and leadership, what does it
Mm-hmm.
mean to you?
Leadership and purpose is intertwined. You can't have one without the other. And for me, purpose is the original intent of a thing. That's what I define purpose of. Purpose is the original intent of a thing. Purpose is what the creator creates something to do. So if you are living outside of the intended purpose for that thing, you are abusing the thing. They call it abnormally use it.
Mhm.
And so that is where the word abuse come from. Abuse is two words put together. Abnormally abnormally use. And so when you put those two words together, you get the word abuse. And many things in life, they never say alcohol is bad. They never said alcohol is bad. They never say cocaine is bad. Because if you use cocaine for its intended purpose, like to do surgery to extract a tooth,
Mhm.
then within the medical arena, cocaine is good. But it's when you use cocaine outside of the medical arena for not its intended person, then we intended purpose, we say you abuse it, we say you abuse alcohol. And so when you are not in your right, when you are not using the thing for its intended purpose, then you are abusing your life. And so if you want to find your purpose, you have to come to the creator to know the purpose of what you were created to be. No, to be a leader, you need to find your purpose. No, if you are a leader and you don't know your purpose, then those who are following you, you are going to abuse them. And that is why there are so many destructive leaders, because they are not true leaders, because true leaders find their purpose. Even in a business, you must have a purpose of incorporation. That is what they call it. A purpose of incorporation. Why did you incorporate this business? The business must solve a problem. The business must solve a purpose. By the way, there's a research that is shown that if you start a business just for money, the chances are you are going to be out of business very soon. And research also show that people who start business just to make money fail more often than those who start a business for a purpose, to solve a problem. And so if you want to become a true leader, then you must find your purpose, because true leadership is about purpose. True leadership is about vision. True leadership is about denying yourself. True leadership is about others. True leadership as its core value, wrapped in conviction, wrapped in values, wrapped in purpose, wrapped in vision, and all those things. When you put those things together, it become purpose, and it become vision. Matter of fact, if you find your purpose and begin to serve your gift, you become a leader, because the leadership is not over people, but leadership is in an area that you are most talented in.
That is wonderful. And you rightfully mentioned some key points there. And I just wanted to on a quote that your wife actually gave that sums up everything that you said. And she said, leadership is about making a difference by influencing positive change. It involves the vision for the family, as you rightfully mentioned just now, extending yourself, the organization, and other persons. We're all leaders. Everyone is born to be a leader. It's just that we have to find our purpose first and unearth things to walk in it. So go ahead.
Right.
For someone who is saying that, for me and also for you, we know that we go to the creator because he's the one who gave us all of our giftings and also has the vision, the knowledge, and everything that we need to unearth it. But for someone who is out there, they're still unsure. They might have a few things, but they're still on the fence as to how they can activate these gifts to walk in purpose. What would be your advice to them?
I mean, first and foremost, you have to come to the creator to find out your purpose, because a Mercedes-Benz, the car does not know its purpose unless it asks its creator, why did you create me? And even when a car is being sold, the car comes with what you call a manual. The phone comes with what you call a manual. The TV comes with what you call a manual. The refrigerator comes with what you call a manual. The light comes with what you call a manual. And the reason why those things come with a manual is because they want you to read the maker's mind to find out the purpose of why this thing was created. They want you to know how this thing was supposed to be used. And the creator is telling you, if you use this in the correct way, if you use this by the principle that we stated, if you put gasoline 90 in your car and not orange juice, then your car will function. If you do not drop your phone in the water, then your phone will not malfunction, etc., etc. And what the manufacturer is telling you is why it was created and the principle by which it is operated for it to become successful. It's the same thing with us. We must go to the creator for the creator to tell us why he has created us, and then the creator must tell you the principle that you must operate in to become successful, because success is not accident. It is not accident that a plane fly. a plane fly by principle. When men discover principle like aerodynamics, when men discover principle like drag, when men discover principle like lift and all those stuff, then we can make a machine that harness all of those principles. And then once you put that on a runway and you hit the lever, bomb, a plane fly, because the scientists and the engineer, they know if we harness the principle of aerodynamics, the principle of drag, then we can put a plane in the sky that is at least 30 tons. That is 3 times one of those big caterpillar that you see on a farm. And so we can put a 30-ton machine in the air because it is principle. The same thing with us. Good success is a result of following God's principle. If you sow a seed in the soil that is fertile and you water it, you de-weed the all the negative things around that seed, you will get a tree. And sooner or later, in the due season, you will get a fruit. It's the same thing with us. And so for those of you are there and you want to know your purpose, you have to go to the Creator. But there are some questions that you can ask yourself, like, what do I constantly dream about? What dream will not leave me? What would I do for free if no one was paying me? What are some of righteous anger that I have? Like righteous anger, like people like Mother Teresa. Mother Teresa was angry about poverty. She wanted to save people, and that become her conviction, that become her lifetime, that becomes something that she threw herself at. Martin Luther King Jr., he had righteous anger. He had anger against segregation in America. Black versus white. Same thing with Nelson Mandela, our apartheid in South Africa. He had a righteous anger. He wanted to change that for the better. And so what are some of the things that you are angry about, that is righteous anger that you want to see for the better? And so what dreams do not leave me? What would I do if no one was paying me? And righteous anger. Those are some of the things. And what am I passionate about? Because your passion sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes your passion lead you to your purpose. I'm not saying every time that you should follow your passion, because whatever you're passionate about, it will lead to your passion. No, you can be passionate about something that you don't have the gift for, but the passion sometimes will lead you down your path most of the time to your purpose. And so that is why purpose is so important, because if you're not living on purpose, then you're going to abuse your life, you are going to waste your time, and you are going to experiment with life. And guess what? You don't want to experiment with life. You don't want to waste time.
That exactly so. And each moment when we're not living in purpose, we're wasting our time. We don't want to use anything. We want to make the best use of it. And something that I want our listeners to take from this segment is that success is not by accident. So sure that it requires faith and works and also intentionality. You shared something that's powerful, because one, we go to the maker, who is the creator, and we ask him, what are these that we need? What are the gifts and the activation of it and all of that? About is that we can get the information, but we may not necessarily utilize it, or even if we do, we don't do it intentionally, because the word also tells us that be hearers and also doers of the word. So this is something that I'm taking from your love story. Your wife shared it, and she said, this is after you guys met at UTech and everything, just giving the people she told you no at the time, because she thought that you need a little bit of growth. And she shared that after some time, she noticed your post on Facebook that aligning with purpose and destiny, aligning with purpose and destiny, and they were also looking a lot deeper. And she said it was obvious that you were also reading some books, and you realized that you had a plan for your life and also a plan that you kept in your wallet. And I just want you to take it from knowing about the vision. So here we are unlocking purpose, destiny, but then you took action, you had a plan. So when we get either through the almighty research or just searching ourselves, as you rightfully mentioned, to see what we're passionate about, or the righteous anger that you spoke about, how do we move to the next step of activation? Because for me, what I took from this, and I have in my notes, is that when we become intentional about our purpose, then it becomes evident.
Mhm.
And I
Wh-
pray.
wh-
Go ahead.
Why? I think one of the things about activating purpose, and a lot of people don't know that, is you have to plan. You have to plan your life. The highest act of faith is planning. Let me say that again. The
Mm-hmm.
highest act of faith is planning. God has a plan for you, but He will not plan for you. Let me say it again. God has a plan for you,
Yes.
but God will never leave the throne of heaven to come down here and write a plan for you. Now, planning pulls eternity, planning pulls the promise of God out of eternity into time. Let me say it again. Planning pulls the promises of God out of eternity into time. And that is why you need to plan. Because if you are not planning, then you are planning to fail. And so when you start to plan, you start to activate purpose, you start to activate God resources, you start to activate the right people that who needs to to help you. He said, make it plain, make the vision plain that who sees may run with. And so you need to write down stuff. If you are going to build a house, you need a plan.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen house building backward without a building plan. And I can tell you, those are some of the most horrible houses that you will see with your two eyes. The bathroom is at the front of the house, the kitchen is at the front of the house. You have to walk between, you have to walk through bedroom to get to the bathroom. And so when you look at the aesthetics of the house is not planned. And so when something is not planned, it is not fully developed, it is not fully built. Now, if you're going to build a housing scheme, the housing scheme must plan before it is finished. That is why God said, before I formed thee in thy mother's womb, I know thee, because no, he plans your existence. And so when you plan something, you actually finish the thing before you started it. Let me
Mm-hmm.
say that again. When you plan something, you actually finish the thing before you start it. Because if you are planning to build a house and you get an architect to design the house, the architect finished that house before even a block is being laid. And so you need to plan it. And then you need to act upon that plan. You need to find a way and how to execute that plan. And by the way, the race is not for the swift. And so sometimes you have a Mount Everest vision. You're going to take your entire life to get up Mount Everest. We started Mindful 10 years ago, and when people see my wife and I traveling like every single month and doing conferences, it's because we have started 10 years ago. We started at 25. My wife and I, we got married at 25. So we are 10 years in our marriage. I started reading those books at the age of 22. Tiger would start swinging the golf clubs at 4 years old. My God, that's a lot of investment. So even if you come at 15 and start playing golf, you are not going to have the same compound investment in golf as Tiger because he was swinging the golf at 4. Warren Buffett started investing when he was 8 years old. No, Warren Buffett is in his 80s. He's a multi-billionaire. What has happened? It's a compound effect. And so you want to show yourself as early as possible at life. You want to fail as early as possible so you can those failures so that you can move forward in life. And you want to be perseverance. You want to be in it for the long haul until death do us apart. We are going to be in this thing. We start mindful. It is rough, but we are going to rough it up because guess what? If you throw the dice long enough, you will going to get a 6. We are not asking you, we are telling you, we cannot tell you when the 6 will come, but you will get a breakthrough. And so you need perseverance, you need stamina, you need dedication, and you also need to partner with people. Because by yourself, you cannot climb Mount Everest. You cannot get up Mount Everest by yourself. Can climb ridges by yourself. But guess what? When you climb ridges by yourself, there will never ever be an autobiography about climbing red hills because nobody knows red hills. nobody get any accomplishment from climbing readiness. Readiness is a small goal.
Mm-hmm.
And so your goal in life is not to buy a house, a car, because we are not going to read your autobiography about that. But we want you to have a Mount Everest vision. We want something so big that it takes your entire life to accomplish it.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you want to climb Mount Everest, you need skillful climber will take you Mount Everest. You need to study Mount Everest. You need to get to the bottom of Mount Everest 6 weeks before so you can get acclimatized with Mount Everest. You need to know everything about Mount Everest. You need to know that by the time you reach 19,000 feet on top of Mount Everest, almost the peak of Mount Everest, you cannot breathe. You need your oxygen tank. You're going to get dizzy because you are going to pay a price for success. Greatness comes at a cost. It costs to be successful. It costs to travel. It costs to put on conference. It costs to have employees. Because my employees they get paid every fortnight. And so every fortnight we have to come up with payroll to pay people. So we have people burden on us. When we should be sleeping, we are up thinking about payroll. And so if you're going to get this over here, you have to understand that success comes with a level of burden. Not sorrow, because when God blesses, he said it comes with no sorrow, but he never said burden. Success as burden. If I bless you with a wonderful house, you are going to have to pay mortgage. And even if I give you that house for free, if it is not gated community, you're going to have to pay maintenance. And even if it is not in a gated community, you are going to have to pay the electricity. You have to go and pay cable, you have to pay water, you have to pay to cut the land, you have to pay to maintain it, you have to wipe down the wall, sweep out the house. It will cost you. There's nothing on earth that is free. Not even salvation is free. Salvation is free for you, but it costs Jesus his life. Anything that you receive in life for free, someone paid the price for it. And so, to become successful, you're going to have to plan. You have to be diligent. You're going to need stamina because you're going to get some challenges. You're going to need endurance because the race is not for the swift. The race is not for the swift. You are going to, and you have to endure failures because you are going to fail. You have to pick yourself up and dust yourself off and get back into the game of life, into the fight. Because it is not for the swift. I can't tell you how many people blow up like rising star, like shooting star. They're like shooting star. They blow up quick like paper fire, but they do not last. Paper fire lights quick, it leads into a combustion, but it does not last. We want you to be like charcoal that my grandfather burned. Charcoal, it is very difficult to light, but when charcoal gets started, it is very, very difficult to put on and it burns for long. We don't want you to be like a shooting star. We don't want you to be like a paper fire. Rise up tomorrow, but you are not here next day. And so we want you to be in it for the long run. And also, we want you to have the right character, right integrity, because success, your success, is only as safe as your character. Let me say that. Your success is only as safe as your character. Success is like water. And your character is like the container that water is in. Now imagine a container that is pierced with water in it. You know that the water is going to leak out over a period of time. It's the same thing with your character and integrity. When you become successful, if there's a breach in your character, your success is going to leak out. Think about an athlete who win all of these medals and they found out that this athlete was actually Dr. Lance Armstrong, and Dr. many other people who are in leadership who are successful, but their breach in your character has destroyed their own success.
What I want for us to look on, and I'm just going to get to it, but you would have answered it, is that persons will come with all of the excuses to say that we have a plan, but our circumstances are X, Y, and Z. But as you rightfully mentioned, you noted that once you have completed the plan, then you're already on your way to purpose. And the journey ahead is not without problems.
Yeah,
So, and to be
yeah.
realistic, you'll have the highs, you'll have great moments, but it's not without problems. And
Mhm.
you shared earlier that your grandmother, she was a form of an anchor who helped you to move in the direction that you're moving in, and just to see her, how hard she worked and get the inspiration from her. And as a leader, you mentioned that your character and success, they are intertwined, and we need to be careful how we manage that. But in your environment, how do you select the right leader? Because many of us, we will say, who do you look up to? And we list some people, maybe popular, but we don't necessarily know if they are in alignment with one or purpose, or if whatever they're doing in terms of their character and integrity, if it makes sense for us to partner with that. We just say the name because the person is popular. How do you choose your leader? Because a leader,
That's very important, and I think that's very important. I'm going to tell you one very simplified answer, because I got that in your relationship. You know, how do I know who do I marry? Now, a prophet of old, he said, can two walk together unless they agree? Now, how do we agree? Is a thing called values. Values. Values are your core belief that your life is built upon, right? So values are your core belief that your life is built upon. Values are your foundation. Now, if you're purchasing a building, and there can be many things affecting that building, but a bank will never give you, a financial institution will never give you money if the foundation of that structure is damaged. No, unless you are going to deconstruct that entire building and rebuild and rebuild it. But they will never ever give you, money or a mortgage to purchase that building. No, I'm going with this, where I'm going with this is your values. Your values are what you use to determine to partner with others. Your values are what you use to determine if we go in relationship with people, whether that is a marriage, whether that is business, or whatever that is. Your values. Now, what are your values? I said your core belief that anchor your life. Now, everybody have values. Criminal have values. Now, do you value honesty? Are you an honest person? You might value honesty, I don't. Do you value faithfulness? Do you value commitment? Do you value love? Do you value peace? Do you value health? Do you value, and you have to go through those list of things that are very, very important to you. And by the way, your values must be in alignment with true north. And that it must be in alignment with moral principle. That's God principle. No, if your values are not in moral principle, then we can't be friends. We can't be friends because relationships fall apart when people no longer value what I value. You probably value faithfulness, he probably value cheating. And so those are two major values clashing, and we can't. You might value honesty, the other person value dishonesty, always stealing, always lying. And so those can't come together. And so can two work together unless they agree? Another tool to that now is purpose. And that is what this podcast is about, soul into purpose. Do we have the same purpose? And the last one is vision. Are we heading in the same direction? Because can two work together unless they agree? The person that is your best friend right now, you and your best friend as almost identical values without even knowing that. You and your bestie have almost identical values. And that is what keep the relationship together. And with love. Because we can love someone but we are not necessarily friends because love is a choice, not a feeling. We have to love people, but we are not necessarily friends. I love you, but we are not friends because of our values. And so, what do you value? And so, when you go into relationship with people, you have to ensure that your core values is the same in alignment with the other person's core values. If not, that relationship will not going to last. And unfortunately, we go into some people into relationship, whether business or otherwise, and we have found out that that person's core values and our core values are not the same. And so we can't work together if the core values are not the same. And so once they are entering into a relationship, you must ask, is this person core values are in alignment with my core values? And then the next thing you should ask yourself, is it, do my core values are in alignment with God core values, with moral principle? Are they in alignment with ethics? And then we can make an assessment to our values, because unless a compass is in alignment with true north, then that compass cannot give you the right direction. Same thing with life. Unless your values are in alignment with true north, then your values cannot give you the true direction in life. And so that means that you would have to recalibrate your values. It's the same thing with a compass. You have to recalibrate the compass until the compass is in alignment with true north.
Wow. So, Jamar, we are taking the compass, looking for north, and it took us to Mount Everest, as you rightfully mentioned. I want to go up this journey, but my experience would have been that you've been betrayed, you've had all the negative relationship experience, and so you're in a space where you're saying to yourself, it's better for me to go alone, but we know that in reality we need persons to accompany the journey. What are some things that one I can do from an individual perspective to open up to that space of fostering inclusivity, because it takes more than to tackle purpose fully? And then what are some things that I can expect that you can include in environment to foster that level of inclusivity as it relates to leadership and just taking on that journey together?
I mean, almost when it comes to people, you have to understand that people is going to always be people. You're going to be hurt by people. You're going to be betrayed by people. People are going to speak negative things about you. But in all of that, we can't operate independently. We can't operate independently. We must operate interdependently. And that interdependent means that we need people. I am not going to lose myself to you. You are not going to use yourself to me, because it is our difference that creates uniqueness. But where I am weak, you are strong, and where you are weak, I am strong, sort of things. And it will start with humility. That I need people. I need people. I can't go to Mount Everest by myself. It also starts with forgiveness, because we will have to forgive some people. It doesn't necessarily mean that they will come back into our circle. And so there are some that you will have to take back into your circle, but there are some that you can't take back. They can't become your friend anymore. And so you have to humility. We have to forgive. We have to discard pride and so forth. And so that we can foster that environment where we can work with people. But if people are to before and we are saying, oh my God, I'm not going to work with people, I'm not going to forgive people, I can't trust people, then you're not here. The best that we can do best we can achieve by ourselves is mediocrity. The best we can achieve by ourselves is mediocrity. And so we need people. And so we have to develop trust. We have to learn to trust people. There are good people out there, not everybody is bad, but good people have faults. And we have to overlook it. If you are going to marry and your marriage is going to last, you would have to overlook. The Bible says love cover a multitude of sin. I'm not talking about abuse. I'm talking about things that probably annoy you. You will have to overlook, you will have to forgive, you will have to trust again. And so that relationship can work, so that two become one. And so if that relationship is going to work, then you will have to foster all of those lovely things that God has told us to do. Love, humility, discord, pride. We have to learn to trust people because we want other people to trust us. And so once you create that environment, then you can grow good relationship in it. But we need people. We are not going to ever climb Mount Everest by itself. Even God himself needs people. When Jesus comes on earth, one of the first things that Jesus did was to assemble a team, because he knew it wasn't going to be on earth for long. So Jesus assembled a team of 12 men, and that team grew to where his global mission is to today. And so we need people if we are going to become who God has created us to be.
And you rightfully mentioned trusting people. We also need to trust God, His plans for
Yeah,
us.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I forgot that.
We
Yeah,
don't,
you have to trust
we
God.
don't trust people, but the greatest challenge that we have is to trust ourselves and to believe in what
Mhm.
He has given us. But Jamar, I don't want people to think that we're just here sharing all of these nice gems in isolation. And I wanted to give us maybe one or two examples of real life. You're a leader, a global leader, I would say, and a transformational leader. Give us some real life examples where you had to put all of these good gems to work so that people can know that we're not just here talking and sharing some fancy stuff.
Um, Almost every payroll. Almost every payroll. Majority of the time, my wife and I we have a lot of failures. Majority of the time, especially during payroll week, um, we will tell our staff that you will have to go to the bank, Jane Bank, because that's our bank, and get your account. The only thing that you need is a letter from Mindful for you to start to get that account. And you have a lot of them who still they have not done that. And so when we send off pay early in the Friday morning for them to get paid, those who have an account outside of Jane, sometimes they don't receive their pay until sometime as late as Wednesday, because that's how sometimes the banking system is in Jamaica. And they will call and they will cuss and they will, create all kind of name. And so you sometimes you have to forgive those people. You have to understand that sometimes those people they are upset because they should have been paid from Friday, but they did not get paid until Tuesday. Is it our fault? No, because we tell them that you should get a Jane account. It's just a process to go into the bank with a mindful letter and they will receive it. And we also explain to them before they even start the job that hey, if you don't have that particular account, then you're not. Sometimes you will see that the money shows up into your account by Tuesday, and they are aware of that. No, we have instances that we have failed where people could have helped us, and I want people out there to understand this, because I've seen it a number of times. People become they malice other people. They have a negative thought to people. They don't they hate people because someone did not help you. No one. Let me say this: no one, apart if you're a parent, no one has a right to help you. You are not entitled to anything. There are many times when people could have helped us that did not help us, and you can't deal with that. You can't have any negative feelings towards that. People is going to betray you. You are going to fail. My wife and I, we early in our marriage, when we should have bought a house in a gated community, we lost that money. We lost that money because we were trying to build Mindful. We were trying to put on this conference, and we lost everything. It took us some while to get back that money to purchase our home. And so you are going to fail. You are going to feel the disappointment of life. When I was the final year in UTEP, I put on a comedy show at Ranny Williams Entertainment Center. At the time, they said Ranny Williams could only hold about 1,300 people. I said I need 3,000 people. I went to Kingston, Irish, and I get another 1,500, and I pop them between the highs at Ranny Williams Entertainment Center. For those who know Ranny Williams Entertainment Center, I borrowed some money, paid all of these people to come on a comedy show. I've advertisement on the radio, a few on the television. I'm going to CVM, doing interview, trying to get people. And I can tell you that comedy show was so flat. We had less than 300 people in that audience. We had less than 300. It was a massive failure. And this was in the year 2010, my final year at UTEC. I was in debt in almost $2 million in debt from one comedy show. We call it Laugh Fest. And I can tell you from that disappointment of having so many debts, we had to end up liquidate the company that my friend and I started. And many other failures, many other betrayals, and people could have helped and did not help, and gossip and negative comment. But at the end of the day, you have to learn to forgive, because you cannot pray unless you forgive. You're with me? And sometimes the doors that you are expecting to swing open will not swing open, because God has prevented it from not opening for you, and He probably has saved you. Lastly, I remember we were on a flight. I'm not sure where we were going. I think we were heading to Antigua. I think it was last year. And we were on the tarmac for some time. And I was wondering why we were on the tarmac so long. The plane has been pushed back. And for those of you who know the Norman Mandela International Airport, the plane has been pushed back. We were at the edge of the runway, and we were there for about 30 minutes. Nobody said anything. We don't know why we were on the tarmac that long. And about 30 minutes after, the pilot come and say, brace for takeoff. And so while we were in the air, and the air was just there ready to serve the juice and the biscuit or whatever it was, someone asked the one of the air hostesses, said, why were we on the tarmac that long? And the air hostess said that the control tower advised the pilot not to take off, because at the time of our takeoff, there was a turbulence, there was a strong wind coming in, and they said you must delay for 30 minutes. We on the ground did not know, and some person was anxious. Some person was saying that is why I don't take this airline. But what they did not know was that the delay that saved us, it probably saved us from something catastrophic. We did not know. But until we got in the air, the heroes told us why we did not take off. There are some things in life that you are trying to do right now will not take off. And there is no explanation for that. And probably will never ever get an explanation for that. And if you have tried everything that you can possibly do and the door never open, you just have to take it that God has spared you from something. You might be disappointed, and it's okay for you to be disappointed. You might be frustrated, and it's okay for you to be frustrated. You might be saying I should be further, and that's okay. All of those feelings are okay. But don't let it prolong too long. And even if you don't get an explanation for it, just remember that God had saved you from something. And so you have to foster all of those things to create that environment, because it's not if you are going to fail in life. People are going to hurt you, especially hurting people, because they say hurting people hurt people. You can't escape the problems of life. You can't. That is why Jesus said, the wise man built his house upon the rock. For the storms will come, the storm of life will come. The flash flood will come. There are going to be problems. There are going to be problems. And when you set out to be successful, because God wants you to be successful, He created you to be successful. The car company created a car to be successful. The phone company created the phone to be successful. The refrigerator created the fridge to be successful, because it's a reputation of them. When that succeed, the manufacturer look good. So God wants you to succeed so that He can look good. Mercedes, the company Mercedes, they look good when a Mercedes-Benz succeed, and the company and the fans and the customer give excellent review. God wants you to succeed, my friend, so that you can win people into His kingdom. And so when you are successful, it is an evidence that whatever you say, people can believe you. And so success is evidence that whatever you believe is working. Let me say one more thing, that fruit is a sign. Fruit on a tree is a sign that cultivation has been successful. Let me say that again. Fruit on a tree is evident that cultivation has been successful. So God wants you to have the sign. But remember, the storm of life will come. You cannot escape it. The only person who escapes the storm of life there are those who are in the grave. And so if you are breathing like I am, and you are breathing like Miss Thompson, then guess what? Storm of life is going to blow upon you. Life spare the rod from no one. You are going to get some blows for life, from life. It is a given. It is guaranteed that life is going to punch you somewhere. It's going to. I'm not a prophet, but that's how life is.
That is not a prophet, but that was a lot of prophetic impartation. So the storms of life will come at us. God wants us to be successful. His plans and His thoughts are for us, that we will prosper, we will be in good health. He wishes for us good things, and He's more than willing to bless us with these things, provided that we come in alignment with the program that He has for us. And you also mentioned earlier that delay, just to sum it up, delay is not denial, and also rejection can open the door for redirection. We are here, and you spoke a lot of things, and we keep mentioning the name Mind Food. Maybe people don't know what exactly we're talking about. So I just wanted to tell us a little bit about what this is, what you do, and how do you help individuals as well as companies.
So Mind Food, as it stands, we did not start Mind Food with the intent of what it is now. Mind Food was food for the mind. That's what Mind Food is. It's food for the mind, so that you can renew your mind and become a better person, because your life is a reflection of how you think. And so when Nas and I get this thing, food for the mind, we are saying, let us feed the mind healthy food, which was healthy thoughts from the word of God. And so it mushroomed into this company. We did not know it was going to mushroom into this company. By the way, it's just a secret. Don't tell anyone, because it was supposed to be like a non-profit type of thing. But guess what? Someone saw us one day and he said, you know what? You could do corporate trade. And I said, no. And he said, you know what? Come to my organization and read some of the stuff that you see on the paper. And so I went up there and I hit the PowerPoint my wife and I. And from that, we started to get people used to just word of mouth. When I do marketing, they say word of mouth is the best form of marketing. And so from that, people used to say, you know what, those stuff that you post on social media, could it become a book? And we say, okay, we'll put it in a book for you. Some people said, we have a conference that we could come to get some of this start. And we say, okay, we'll do that. We will do that too. I know what period of time comes together, but here's what mindful is today. Um, we have outsourcing. About 2 years ago, a lady, I'm not going to call her name, she has an established business. He said, you know what? She said to us, why don't mindful become one of our recruiters? No, she said that the staff is not going to, your staff will work for me, but they are your staff, and we will pay you for that. We will pay you for all of that HR duty. And that is how we have so many staff today. And so Mindful is a leadership and HR consulting company. We do leadership and HR training, we do outsourcing, and we do consultation. And that's it. Nothing more, nothing less. So we are a HR, we are a HR and leadership consultancy company that do training, consultation, outsourcing, and recruiting. Those four lovely stuff. Nothing more, nothing less. I don't want to confuse you. So we are here trying to push this business, trying to touch as many people as we possibly can in our lifetime, and then we will find our successor and pass it on, because we know, just like you, we are not going to be here forever. We have a limited time, and that is why God created time for us. We are not into eternity, but guess what? Probably in the next life we will live forever. But in this first life, no, you are not going to live forever. And so that is what Mindful. So if you want, you can hop onto our page, mindfood_01 on Instagram. And so if you have HR and leadership consultation, if you have HR and leadership training, if you have recruiting, and if you have outsourcing, then that is us. Our name is synonymous with that. So that is what this. And so we are going 10 years. Next year will be 11 years. But it is a journey. They say overnight success usually takes 10 years or more. So guess what? I'm expecting a big overnight success. I'm expecting it.
So before we go to the streets of yonder and walk the streets of gold, you mentioned some wonderful services, and I'm just going to pick your brain on behalf of the people who are watching and listening, and reach out to book their consultation and get the training sessions going. But before they do that, give them some juicy tips. You mentioned you manage a lot of persons in your organization, and there are persons who are listening. They have people, HR, and it's important for them to manage these persons, be the most effective leader that they can. Give them some useful tips that they can use in their businesses to help them manage the people and increase productivity, so to speak, and yield success overall.
First of all, when it comes to people, you have to empower them. If you are not going to empower people, then you are going to have a great difficulty of time micromanaging people. And so you don't want to micromanage people, because all of that, when you are dealing with people, it is going to become burdensome, because people comes with a lot of things. Imagine what you come with as a person. You as a person, you are very complex. And imagine dealing with numerous people. And so that comes with complexity. So what I want to do is division of labor. In school there's a division of labor. And so you want to have people reporting to other people and not necessarily directly to you. Some people directly to you, because that is going to be a lot of burden. And so you need to create other leaders who can take on that leaders. One of the greatest leader, Moses, he cried out to God. He said, God, take these people away from me. He said, it is your burden. Because guess what? Other people's burden can become your burden. It will become your burden if you are the leader. That can lead to depression. And so one of Moses' father-in-law, Jethro, he said, Moses, you're a madman. He said, you have almost 3 million people reporting to you. He said, that's mad. He said, you need to find some other people and let them report to them. And the most important thing comes to you. And so that is how you deal with it. You have the division of labor. You have to also know when to cut off communication. You're not going to take call. Don't take call 10 o'clock in the night, 9 o'clock. 7-ish, 7:30-ish, that's fine, but you must have a cut off time. When business, I will deal with business tomorrow. So that you can give yourself time to rest, time to recuperate, time to put down some of the weight, and so that you can be effective. And so when you do that, you are putting yourself to rejuvenate yourself, and so have a cut off time when you no longer talk about business, when you no longer discuss business for that particular day. And so tomorrow is a new day. Tomorrow is a new day. You also want to do something that is enjoyable. You want to taste life. Imagine eating ice cream and you cannot taste the flavor of the ice cream. And ice cream is no longer a luxury item for you to eat because you can't taste the flavor. And so you need something to de-stress yourself. Find some time to make some time for you so that you can de-stress and put away some time for you. And so those keys are very, very important. Another thing, know what problems fall into the line of priority. Some things are not your problem to solve. If you don't see, if you when you receive your pay, I know that you receive your pay and you draw 2,000 out of your pay, and when you go tomorrow, there's no money in your bank account. That's not my problem. That's you have to call the bank and to sort that out. I can't sort that out for you. So know which problem is yours to solve. There are some problems you are not the one to solve that. You can't take on everybody's problem. You can't. And so know which problem are priority. Some things are not important. They are not urgent. So you push that aside. You push that aside. It's not urgent. It's not important. So you push that aside. And so, because you have to preserve yourself, you have to preserve your mind so that you can fulfill your purpose.
Well, I trust that people are out there and they're listening. As we are winding down, last, your perspective on leadership in Jamaica. Do we deem it as something that is important? As we talk about
We should. Because leadership is very, very important now. Because without leadership, nothing succeeds in life. Without leadership, nothing progress in life. Without leadership, nothing get better in life. You with me? Because things might change. Without leadership, there will be changing. But for something to progress, there must be change, and not every change in a positive or for the better. If someone is right here and someone gain 200 pounds in the next year, they have changed, but is that a good change? No, that's not a bad change. That's a bad change because you have become you have become obesity, but you have become obese. But you need leadership to change things in a positive way. You need leadership so that something can succeed. And so those are very important, and that is why leadership is very, very important. In a football club, we fire a manager if the team is not winning, because every single team rise and fall on leadership. And in Jamaica, we should take leadership very, very we should take it very, very seriously. I can give you one more example. If you should look at the island Hispaniola, that's in the Caribbean now. For those of you who don't know, and probably if you are listening to this and you're in America or in Europe or in Africa, wherever you are, and you don't know what Hispaniola is, it's an island that is divided up into two countries, Haiti and Dominica. Now, on the left is Haiti, and on the right is Dominica. Now, what is the difference? Both countries sat on the same island, right? But to your left is one of the poorest country in the Western Hemisphere. To your right is one of the richest country in the Caribbean region. What attribute to that? You want me to tell you? Leadership. Leadership makes a difference between those two countries and the same island, facing the same circumstance. So you see why leadership is important. Nothing succeeds without leadership. Nothing improves without leadership. And no vision manifests without leadership. Where there is bad leadership, the people grow. But where there is good leadership, the people are happy. So leadership makes everything. And so we, the people of Jamaica, we have to take leadership seriously. We have to improve in leadership, because an organization is not going to get better if the leader does not get better. A marriage is not going to get better until the husband and wife become better. A school is not going to get better until the principal becomes better. A country is not going to get better until the president or the prime minister become better and his staff become better. So all of that falls and rise upon leadership. Your business is not going to grow until you grow as a leader. And that is what I'm not tooting my own on right here, but that is what makes our training very effective, because we don't focus on organization charts. We focus on the individual as a leader, because every leader as a lead, as John C. Maxwell is saying in his 21 irrefutable laws of leaders. If you're a leader, say 1 to 10, and you are a 7, your organization, whatever your lead, will not pass 7, because you have a lead. Now, if you want your business to grow, you must grow, and your organization grow. And so the more you grow, the more your organization grow. So guess what? You are the one who is stunting the growth of whatever you are leading. Isn't that good to know that I am the person who is stopping what is growing beneath me? I get better. If I lead me well, if I become better in my thoughts, if I become a better individual, my circumstances change. James Allen said there are too many people who wishing their circumstances to change, but if that individual changes, their circumstances change. It's not powerful, because as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. So leadership is very, very important. Nothing get better until the leader get better.
Mhm. And the growing aspect comes down to leadership and legacy. Share with us quickly on leaving a legacy behind, because Proverbs 13 verse 22 tells a good man leaves an inheritance for his grandchildren. Wealth of the sinner is stored up for the righteous. We know that
Yeah.
how important is leaving a legacy when it comes to leadership?
It's very important, because if you don't leave a legacy for the next generation, what you are doing, you are perpetuating poverty. And so the next generation cannot go further, they cannot see further, because you did not give them a start. In Bagwak, I always joke about this in Bagwak, that the people in Bagwak, my set of family, they did not start from scratch. They start way beyond scratch. And by the time they get to scratch, life finish. And so they did not start life. And so a good man leave an inheritance for his children. What they are saying is that the good man is not perpetuating poverty. Is that the good man create a platform for his children to stand on and go further. It's like an arrow, I'm launching my children. There are some people right now, they are not better than you, they are not smarter than you, but the fact that is they get a start in life. And we are not upset with them, we are not mad at them. They get a better start at life. Mommy gave them a big platform to stand on, daddy gave them a big business to start with, and so they lean on that, and so they can go further. They have the vision to start their dream while you have to start from scratch and try to scramble. They have the connection, they have this, they have that at their disposal, and nothing is wrong because their parents set it up for them. Now, you have to also understand that you are an interim leader. All of us were interim leader. I said this at a training one time and somebody stick up there and he said, "Sir, I'm not an interim leader. I am a staff right at this organization." And I said, "You don't know what you are talking about. One day you will leave this company because you are not going to be here forever." And so if we can't be like a seedless grape, a seedless grape cannot multiply itself. That is why every fruit, every tree has a seed on it. Because the tree must reproduce itself. Because if you can't reproduce yourself, you're not going to last one generation. And so that is why mentorship comes into place, so that you can mentor others, so you can deposit in others, so that you can reproduce yourself, so that your vision does not last one generation. And so that seed that you have inside of you, you must reproduce from your line. And so inheritance is good, because inheritance is what you leave for others. That's what inheritance is. You need that. But legacy is also important, because the legacy is who you leave. Jesus never leave a building behind, but Jesus leave 12 developed men behind. He trained them. And so we need to train some people, and then we need to give them some resources. And so that is how you live behind the grave. That is how you set up other people to succeed. When our last breath, we will pass on mind food to the person who is deserving of it, and so that mind food can outlive us. Because all of us should build something that outlive us. That when we are long gone and they walks into the office, you can see your face on the wall. This is the founder of the organization. Some time ago, I was in P.A. Benjamin. You know that company, that P.A. Benjamin. And when I walked into that company, there was a picture of the founder, P.A. Benjamin, on the wall. And he has died many, many years ago. And so you want to build something that outlive you. And so you want to pass the baton of success over to other people. So that leadership, God is a God of generation. God is a generational God. He doesn't do a thing for one generation. When God is doing anything, it's for many, many generations. And so we must think like God. We must think many, many, many generations. That is why longevity is important. We are not in this for the now. Many people you see start today, you will not see them tomorrow. And so we are in this for the long run.
Usually our final question is to share your final thoughts, but you summed it up just now. But if there are any parting words to the audience, I'll just allow you a few minutes to share that.
Show yourself at life. Let me just plug in the charger right here. Yeah. Show yourself at life. Show yourself at life. Whatever it is that you want to do in life, whatever it is that God called you to do, and you have known and you know for certain that this is the thing, I want you to show yourself at life. Show yourself at it. Every single thing at it. And we will see what you become of life. We're not going to just stop it. We're not going to throw pennies in the wishing well of life. We are going to throw our entire being at it. Show it. And we want you to maximize your potential. Because that is what good success is. Good success is one, discovering your purpose in life. Two, good success is maximizing your potential. So we want you to one, discover your purpose, two, maximize your potential. That is what showing yourself at life. And I've talked about this a while ago. The last one is sowing seed for others. That is creating a legacy. So discover your purpose. As the podcast has said, soul into purpose. And second, you're going to maximize what God has given you. If God has given you one talent, you are going to maximize that one talent, because God is a just God, not a fear God. Because if God was fear, you'd have to give everybody the same talent, the same resource. But that's not true. Everybody doesn't get the same talent. Everybody doesn't get the same resource. Everybody don't get the same opportunity. That is why you should not compare yourself with other people. Because some people get bigger opportunities. Some people get better talent. Some people are better gifted. Some people are just anointed more, grace more. So we are not going to compare. Because God says He's not a fear God, but He's a just God. He's going to judge you by what you were given. And guess what? You can maximize what God has. The person who was born to sing, he or she must develop the gift of singing. You must develop your gift. You're an athlete, you must train. You want to be a speaker, you must read, you must study. So that when you get your opportunity, you can speak from the heart, you can speak from your mind, you can share knowledge that will change people's lives. So you're going to study whatever area that God has called you. If you're a chef, you must go back to school and learn to cook. You must research. In every area, you can improve upon that. So we're going to maximize it. We're going to choke. We're going to sow seed for others. We are going to allow others to succeed. And so we want you to do that. We want you to do that. And when you take your last breath, we want you to die empty. We want you to die like Apostle Paul, who said, I have been poured out like an empty drink offering. There's nothing more left for me to do. You're going to die like Moses, who said, I have seen the promised land. And you're going to die like Jesus, who said, it is finished. So when we die, we are going to be a finished individual. There's no more dreams left. There's no more books left. There's no more songs left. There's no more building to be built. We are going to die because our purpose is finished. But until then, we're going to ask God to redeem the time. We're going to ask God to give us perfect health. We're going to ask God to give us longevity. And we are going to ask God to run this race with vigor and endurance, because we want to live now. We want to build something that when this creator meets us, he will say, well done, my wonderful servant.
Wow. Well done, my good and faithful servant. Finding our purpose, going back to the creator, because he has a manual on how we can use these gifts, activating them, creating the plan. When you create the plan, it is already finished. Tapping into the persons, letting go, having forgiveness, because we need people to sustain us on the journey and maximize our potential, planting the seeds, the good seeds that will yield good fruits and ultimately give us good. So, Mr. Jamal Wright, as always, the guests come on this podcast and they just pour out, and it's always coming from a place of divine inspiration, because I am blessed in this space and I know that our viewers are also blessed. Thank you so much for joining us. It is a blessing.
And thank you for having me. I pray that this will blow up and be on your wireless mind and your wireless stream. That will become bigger than even a podcast, probably a television, probably a radio program, probably a conference, whatever it is. It
Mhm.
can go into many directions, books, whatever it is. I hope God multiply your vision, give you the resources, and dream as big as possible, wide as possible, as far as possible, wherever your creative mind take you. Do that because the resource God has already got the resource for you. So show yourself at it, show your entire being at it, and see what you can become.
Amen. Amen. Well, people, there you have it. I know that my mind has been stimulated, and I trust that I know it is the same for you. This is Sold into Purpose. This was a wonderful soul story. Where else can you get this? Until next time, see you. Bye.
Bye. Bye, guys.
If you are out there and you believe that you have a compelling story that can touch the nations, or maybe you wish to partner with us, please feel free to connect with us at 876-427-7067 or send us an email at souledintopurpose@gmail.com. That is SOULED intopurpose@gmail.com. We look forward to hearing and working with you. What a profound session. I know that your mind is not hungry. We had a lot of food for thought. This morning we looked at the seeds, researching, going on purpose, unearthing your skills and capabilities, going back to the maker, the one who created us, to ensure that our vision is in alignment with what he wants for us. It is his goodwill that we prosper and be in good health and to achieve everything that we need to do. Throw yourself at the vision, write the vision and make it plain. If you want the rest of the gems, all you have to do is to follow us on YouTube at Akeelia Thompson. That is Akeelia Thompson. Subscribe and hit that notification bell, as well as follow us on Instagram and Facebook at Sold into Purpose. That is SOULED into Purpose. We had a wonderful guest, Mr. Jamar, right? We had powerful, wonderful insights, practical steps that we can take to get sold into purpose. Wow, what a show! Thank you so much for joining us. As always, I enjoy your company this and every Wednesday morning, bright and early at 6 a.m. I am your host, Akeelia Thompson. And until we meet again next week, same time, same place, walk good.